Hello, and welcome to our course, How to Survive a Nuclear War. My name is Kyle Stevens. We have created this course to give you a clear step-by-step guide in the case of a nuclear threat, all in just 6 lessons, each around 20 minutes long. To make sure the course includes only genuinely useful information, we rely solely on principles outlined in the official guidelines of the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the American Civil Defense Association. While many people choose to just hope for the best, you're doing the most important thing. You're getting prepared. And preparation remains the only real tool that can save your life and the lives of those around you. Now, we sincerely hope that you'll never have to use any of the knowledge you gain from this course. That would be the best sign that humanity is moving toward peace and not conflict. We will walk you through every stage calmly and step by step. Everything is explained in a way that anyone can understand, regardless of age or background. No special training needed. Think about this right now. If a strike happens tomorrow, will you be ready? To make sure you are, we've put together a verified list of survival essentials in our PDF guide. Everything you truly need to stay alive. We've sent this PDF to your email. Buy these items today, because when disaster strikes, you'll only have what you prepared in advance. Before we begin, please take a look at the percentage you see in the corner of the screen. It will change with each lesson, and it's not just a number. It holds a special meaning that we'll reveal at the end of the course, and you'll be surprised. In today's lesson, we'll cover the steps you should take before a nuclear strike occurs. We'll also talk about how to prepare, what supplies you need, what should go in your emergency bag, and how to recognize when a strike has already happened. Before we dive into preparation, it is important to understand that a nuclear explosion is not just a really big bomb. It's a physical phenomenon that releases an enormous amount of energy. The temperature at the epicenter can exceed the surface temperature of the sun. The blast wave crushes buildings. Thermal radiation ignites anything flammable, and penetrating radiation damages human tissue at the cellular level. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, there are currently around 12,500 nuclear warheads in the world. About 3,800 of them are considered operational. The largest stockpiles belong to Russia and the United States. This means that even a limited exchange of strikes could destroy dozens of major cities within minutes of a conflict starting. History has already seen the use of nuclear weapons. In August 1945, the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan were hit with atomic bombs with yields between 13 and 21 kilotons. The blasts instantly killed tens of thousands of people, and in the years that followed, hundreds of thousands more died from burns, injuries, and radiation exposure. But it's important to realize modern warheads are tens or even hundreds of times more powerful than those dropped on Japan. For example, the most powerful Soviet thermonuclear bomb, the Tsar Bomba, had a yield of 50 megatons, which is 2,500 times stronger than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There is a common misconception that if a nuclear war does break out, no one will survive. But research shows this simply isn't true. For example, studies by the Princeton University and Center for Catastrophic Risk Management show that survival depends on preparation, shelter, distance from the blast, and how quickly a person reacts. Those outside the immediate blast zone who know what to do, they have a real chance of surviving. And that is why everyone, no matter where they live, should have a basic knowledge of how to protect themselves in the event of a nuclear strike. You may only have seconds or minutes to act, and in that moment, knowledge could be the only thing that saves your life. Preparing in advance. Let's go over what you need to do first if there's a threat of nuclear attack. In most scenarios, tensions between opposing sides will escalate gradually, with threats exchanged before any actual strike. During this period, governments will likely start informing their citizens about potential dangers. That's why it is crucial to follow official news sources, your local civil defense authority, and the National Emergency Alert System. Do not rely on social media or unverified information. We recommend saving a list of official resources on your phone and enabling notifications from them. Make sure you know the location of the nearest bomb shelters. Many people just assume there are none left in modern cities, but that's not true. Civil defense infrastructure is still being maintained. You should know the exact locations in advance so you can act quickly when danger arises. You also need a backup plan for shelter. According to research from Arizona State University, a basement with thick concrete walls or an interior room without windows located near the center of the building and away from outer walls can reduce exposure to blast and radiation by up to 90%, depending on the bomb's yield and your distance from the epicenter. Avoid hiding near windows or in attics. These are extremely dangerous due to flying glass, debris, and high radiation exposure. If nuclear attacks do occur, it's important to understand which targets are likely to be hit first. Stay away from military bases, city centers, and major industrial facilities whenever possible. Other high-priority targets include command centers, weapons storage sites, and power plants. If you live within 3 to 6 miles of these kinds of sites, your chances of survival drop significantly. If you can relocate or temporarily stay in a rural area, take that opportunity. Even being 12 to 18 miles away from a target can drastically reduce the strength of the blast and radiation levels. You also need to check how well sealed your home is. Radioactive dust can seep in through even the smallest cracks. In fact, without proper sealing, even tightly closed windows can allow radioactive particles to enter, turning your shelter into a deadly space. That is why we recommend using weather stripping, duct tape, and plastic sheeting, because these materials will help you seal off any gaps or cracks in your home, and they'll add an extra layer of protection. Also, make sure to inspect your ventilation system. In the event of a nuclear threat, it should be shut off and blocked using whatever materials you have on hand. After a nuclear strike, mobile and internet communication may go down completely. This can cause you to lose contact with loved ones. That's why it is absolutely essential to agree in advance on a safe meeting point where you'll reconnect if communication is lost. To sum it up, preparation is not a backup plan, it is your primary chance of survival. Every recommendation we've mentioned requires action now, not sometime in the future. Resource stockpiling. If a nuclear war begins, stores will stop operating instantly. Whatever you have on hand at that moment will be your only resource for survival. So now we're going to go over what you need to stock up on in advance, and the most common mistakes people make while doing it. Let's start with the most critical resource: water. In a nuclear attack, much of the water supply infrastructure could be destroyed, and rivers, wells, and open sources may become contaminated with radiation. The recommended minimum is 1 gallon of water per person per day. This covers drinking, cooking, and minimal hygiene. Now, the best containers for storing water are made out of thick, food-grade plastic with tightly sealed lids. Keep your water in a shaded place away from heat sources and chemicals. You can disinfect water with chlorine or activated carbon filters if needed, but keep in mind, these methods do not